Hey everybody, this is Douglas with Other Than Intended Purpose, and today we're actually doing some Other Than Intended Purpose stuff. I was starting to put together a new fire kit, and I realized I didn't have any more magnifying lenses. And I went down to the local thrift shop and picked up an old pair of Sears 7x35 wide angle binoculars that are garbage. When you look through them, they don't line up. They wobble. The eyepiece wobbles all over the place. The eye cap falls off. And this is, you might think, why would you get something like this? Well, it was $2 first. And secondly, I wanted a piece of crap that I could take apart and destroy and not feel bad about. So today I'm going to pull these apart and I'm going to show you how to harvest magnifying lenses from a broken piece of crap old binocular to have your magnifying lens. Now the Fresnel lenses work, but they have a tendency to bend, and I'm not real delicate when I'm holding stuff. And I like, why are you making a face like
Mosquito.
that?
Just landed on your shoulder. I was watching it.
I'm not real delicate when I'm holding stuff, and I like a good solid piece of glass when I'm trying to use a magnifying glass for a fire. So today I'm going to take these apart and I'm going to show you what to look for in the lenses. Because some of these lenses will work, some of them won't. So I'm going to show you what I look for in the lenses, and we're going to harvest some glass and make ourselves some fire magnifying glasses. Okay, go ahead and drop down onto the... In true redneck fashion, I forgot to bring my regular toolkit, so I'm using bits and pieces. One of the things I'm using is my Leatherman. So we're going to start off by taking this center screw out.
Is that good on the zoom?
Yeah. We're going to start off by taking this center screw here out. And that's going to, if we get the eyepieces off, it's going to allow us to get these two off, and these are our first pieces of glass we're going to look at. Now, that's actually a decent piece of glass, but that's sealed in there. And so I'm going to have to... Man, that's got some sticky crap on it. I love sticky crap on it. Sarcasm is just one of the services that I provide for free. Of course, I charge you later, but...
Where'd you put the bandana from earlier?
Away.
Oh.
Okay, this one is not falling apart as good as the other one did. So we're going to get a little bit tough on it, hopefully without breaking the glass. Nope. Well,
Seeing as you already took one apart on camera, I'll get that one real quick for you.
now there's a little retention ring in here. Wrong side. There's a little retention ring in here that if you can separate from the plastic, you can get a small magnifying lens right there. There we go. Let's start. Come out. You gotta get that little retention out. And this is going to fall apart. Now here, you got a tiny one. Damn. That's actually got some pretty good magnification on that. So I've gotten a tiny one for a small kit. This one, that's got pretty decent magnification. That would be a backup one. That wouldn't be my first choice. But let's see, we've got a whole bunch of little bitty Phillips. So let's try my little bitty Phillips tool. You ever wondered what the inside of a binocular looked like? There we go. Come on, unscrew. These definitely are following my tenet of if anything ever cooperated, it would confuse me. But when you're taking these apart, sometimes you got to go on a little bit of a fishing expedition and find yourself all of the little screws and things that are holding it together. I think I might be able to use the big screwdriver I just put away, of course. There it is. Might be able to use the big screwdriver on that one.
That's why you put it away, right?
See, it's too thick. Nope, that screw is so soft it's falling apart just trying to turn it. So we will work around that. When you get something like this from a Goodwill type store, or you a lot of times you're dealing with stuff that is old and brittle and fragile. Taking it apart becomes kind of an experimental process where you gotta search out all the little things that are holding it, and every once in a while something doesn't want to open, and we are into the heart of the mechanism here. Now, there's a lot more glass in these than people think about. I've already got 2 good pieces right there. And if Jack ever gets that one apart, we'll have another good piece there. Or 2 good pieces there. This one,
Whole bunch of itty bitty tiny screws holding this together.
this one looks like they glued the damn thing, which means I'm going to be trying not to break the glass.
Unless it also has itty bitty tiny screws this size.
I don't see any place for a screw to be on this one.
Did I pop it apart yet?
That's glued. Why would they glue it? Sears, you're killing me. Okay. need to take out
There we go.
these retention bit. Did I put that back on, or did I'm on the other side? I'm on the other side.
See how they are?
That's the wrong one. Where's the?
The what? That's itty bitty.
That's it. I just had one with a foot. I put my pliers on it. Okay, you're gonna get a lot of little debris, as you can see. Now these are interesting. These will not help you make a fire, but they're prisms. And they're just kind of cool to have. So I'm gonna save these just because prisms are cool. Even though they don't do me any good. And there's actually more retention springs on this side.
There we go.
But this actually leads us to the other reason why you want to go get the old, busted up piece of crap, heavy as a rock ones, like these old Sears ones, is because they don't have plastic lenses and they don't have one or two small elements, and that's it. I'm getting 4 prisms. Did you get that one? Yeah, I got some garbage. I got the 2 larger ones actually are weaker, but they'll still work. And then I've got 4 good magnifying glasses and 4 prisms. And I still haven't got these 2 apart, and these each have a really thick piece of glass in them. That is the biggest magnifying glass of all of them. And these are, I'm going to probably wind up just having to break this plastic.
Which one is it? Let me see.
I got 2 of them. If you can figure out how to get that open, bravo. That looks like they glued the piece that seals it in. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Well, that pulled off. It didn't fix it, but it pulled off. Yeah, these 2 look like they should screw apart, but they don't. But you want to get the old ones, the big old heavy metal framed, heavy as hell, nasty ones, because they've actually put, even in the cheap ones, they used to put some really good optical glass in here. And somehow I don't think when they were putting this together, they was thinking that somebody someday would just be sitting here with a couple pairs of pliers and some screwdrivers, ripping the crap out of them to get the optics out.
Otherwise, they'd made it a little easier. Or harder.
Maybe they did think that, and that's why they did this. It was like, watch them try to get this one apart. Yep, there is some epoxy right there.
Which means that I'm going to need that here in a minute then.
Why, oh why would you epoxy this, Mr. Binocular guy?
Because they want you to use your cane to bust it open.
Ow! I wasn't using that knuckle for the rest of the day anyway, so don't worry about it. I will get this piece of glass out. I guarantee, because this is the best piece of, these 2 are the best pieces of glass in this whole set. If I could get that little retention ring out.
There's a pair of scissors.
Huh?
I was looking at your Leatherman to see if it had the little multi-tool saw on it.
It does.
I couldn't find a saw. It has the serrated blade, but not a saw blade. Unless it's on the inside.
Oh, wait a minute. My other one has a saw blade. Well, no, this one actually has a saw blade, but because this one has the saw blade, and that one, the saw blade is removable, I replaced the saw blade because this is that surge that James gave me.
I'm gonna try this on just...
And this one right here, you can either have a file or a saw blade. And the saw blade is in the pouch. I just put the file in it. But if I could get that little retention ring out, we'd be golden. But that would look almost like cooperation, and so we're not getting any of that. There we go.
I'm doing the quicker but not as safe method.
You're doing a quicker method?
Cutting in it.
You're doing the quicker method?
Now that I have a saw blade in hand, yeah.
Ah! Oh, there we go.
I was waiting for the
See
pliers.
now, that is a good, whoa, there we go. Okay, that is a good, thick piece of glass, and there is some serious magnification in that. And other than where I scratched it right there, this is still in pretty damn good shape, even though this is a really old thing. I just had to destroy it to get it out because some dumbass glued it. You were doing the faster method?
Once I had the saw, yeah. See?
How the hell did people used to wear monocles and see out of them? That's much easier to see out of. Oh, good. They didn't even see me making stupid faces. All you saw was my hands making stupid faces.
That'd be impressive.
What?
Hand faces.
Hey, my hands got skills.
Ah. Ow. That's not where that... Ah, there we go. See? Once I had the saw, it was quicker.
How do you figure it was quicker when I was done?
Because I didn't start until after you were like 90% there.
Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of
Debris.
garbage and debris that comes out of doing this. But you saw me doing this in real time. There was no cutaways, there was no fancy Hollywood magic. You saw in real time how I destroyed the hell out of a pair of binoculars. But what I got out of it
Rather
was
decent chunks of glass.
6 usable pieces of glass in 3 different sizes that for starting fires, and also just as a magnifying lens if you're trying to find something on the map, trying to find something in somebody's eye. And then I got these 4 really cool prisms that I don't know what I'm going to do with yet, but it doesn't matter because I got them. And they're decent prisms. So, the channel's name is Other Than Intended Purpose. I'm pretty sure Sears... Yeah, this was a... You just turned that... Now, am I in frame or not? Is this in frame?
You're in frame.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that Sears did not intend this. So I would say that today we definitely lived up to our name. But if you're trying to find some good magnifying lenses to put into your fire kits and your first aid kits, wherever you want them to be, this is a $2 pair of binoculars. I have a pretty good yield.
I think it was a $2 pair of binoculars.
Well, at some point it was probably a $40 pair of binoculars, but by the time I got to it, before I got it, it was a $2 pair of binoculars that did not line up. You got a really wide, weird little cross-eyed, cockeyed view of the world looking through them, and there was all thrown off just because they were old and they were beat up and they were garbage. But that doesn't change the fact that that right there is an expensive piece of glass. It's got a good magnification on it. It's nice and thick. This one, a little less magnification, but it's much smaller. That would fit inside an Altoids kit really easily. And then this one's actually got more magnification than the middle-sized, and that's tiny. Of course, that'd be a little bit harder to hold to focus. No, actually, it's not. We don't even have crap for sun right now, and I can still get a point off of that.
We got overcast and trees.
Where I live, overcast is a sunny day. We get cloud burns. We don't get sunburns. We get cloud burns. But so there we go. I don't know exactly how long that took. I wasn't timing it, but the length of the video should tell you. And
about 20 minutes or so.
a little bit of destruction, a little bit of fun, a couple of smart-ass jokes, and some really basic tools. And I turned $2 worth of thrift store binocular into 6 usable fire magnifying glasses.
And 4 cool prisms.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with them prisms, but they're mine now. Yeah, nobody's there. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, "Man, I'm having a terrible damn day." Well, what's wrong with your day? I have a prism. I heard somebody say that they were going to prism, but I don't think they meant that one of these. Now, before I turn this off, the other day ago,
There's a lot of those.
I know time is kind of
Wibbly wobbly.
wobbly. I was showing this kit that I made as my grab and go emergency kit. Well, I actually did something I never do. I watched the video of it. I don't usually watch videos of me because I know what I was going to say already anyway. And I was thinking there was a couple of things I left out of that kit, and I put them in last night to make sure they would fit, and they do. And so the first thing is I've got 2 garbage bags right here. And these are going to go with my shelter making equipment. I was saying how I have the space blanket to reflect I have the sole blanket to reflect the heat back on me, and that having protection under you is more important than having protection over you because it'll suck the heat right out of you. And I would use debris. So I'm putting these in there so that I can make a raised debris bed to lay on. I'm clipping these to the outside. These are climbing rated carabiners. Now, I don't have any climbing rated rope, but if I was to be trying to pull myself or someone else up, I would rather have my carabiners not break on me because they were cheap little do not put load weight on these. These are by Liberty Mountain, and climbers use live weight instead of dead weight as their measurements. So instead of how many pounds does it hold, it's how many thousands of newtons. A newton is a force of energy. If something is falling, that it would hold. I will not buy a so-called climbing rated carabiner that's under 24 kilonewtons. These are 27 on the long axis. Now the short axes are always lighter. This is 8 kilonewtons on the gate itself, and if you catch it below the gate, it's 9. If you're catching against that gate, you're wrong anyway. Lengthwise is the way to go. 27 kilonewtons will hold a lot more than I weigh carrying a pack from a falling. So I've got 2 of these I'm going to be adding to my kit. Those are going to be on the outside, so they'll fit easily. While I was disassembling while I was harvesting my magnifying lenses, I was using these screwdriver kits. Each of these has 5 bits inside. You've got Phillips, flathead, and hex and star. Half of them's hex and half of them's stars. I've got a couple sets of these. These are really great. These will fit in the little tool pouch I had on the side, so I'm adding those to my kit. I'm adding this to my kit. Now, the original design for this was made by Really Big Monkey 1, Dave Pearson. In his video, when he made these, he made his out of plastic, and his was a little bit smaller than mine. But he said in the video that we should make our own. He doesn't make them to sell. Well, I was looking at it, and I wanted to add something to what he did. I made mine out of aluminum instead of plastic because I had aluminum and I didn't have plastic. I also made mine 3/4 of an inch longer than he made his, and I put take that up so they can see it, because all they're seeing right now is a little shiny silver thing. I put a bow drill divot. Damn, that phrase just keeps showing up today.
There it is. Good angle for them to see it. I was trying to
talk about those when I was talking about the Tops Bob knife earlier. I put a bow drill divot in mine because this is a really good size to hold as a bearing block. And what this is a paracord hanger. You can tie your paracord to a tripod, to a branch, whatever. You run it down through these 3 slots, and it will lock it in place. And then you can hang a pot over a fire. You can hang a lantern up over your campsite, whatever you're doing. But I'm going to throw one of these in there because they're very handy to have. And they don't take up very much room. In this little pouch right here, I got these off of Amazon. There was 25 of them for like $5.79. Inside of it, I've got an actual sail needle, a canvas needle, and a couple of leather needles. The leather needles aren't as sharp. The canvas needle's a little bit sharper. They fit in this tube really nicely. I'm throwing in here with it some Kevlar thread. I have no idea how much Kevlar thread that is because it was on the little paper that I took off and lost.
It's a good use for a little paper with information on it, right?
They tried to fool me and put information on the paper. I fooled them back and lost it. I win. So I'm going to throw that in there because if there are so many different times when needles and thread come in handy.
Your pack tear, your clothes tear.
I noticed when I was doing that I had food in there that would be really handy to have something to eat with. And I've got this little pouch, and this little pouch came with some really cheesy silverware that I didn't like. So I threw the silverware that I didn't like away, and I put my Vargo titanium set in, and
It came with chopsticks.
some little stainless steel chopsticks. These are not only good for eating, these are good for when you're cooking. You can stir around inside your little they're long enough. You can stir stuff up in your pot with them.
And
But-
there are some people that just like eating with chopsticks. So
Some things I do, some things I don't. I'm not really picky about it. So I've got this little pouch now that I can actually eat the things that I cook in my cook pot. 2 more quick things, and then we're done for the day. Depending on where I get into a situation where I'm unhappy about being there, I might very well find myself near some closed down buildings, because there's a lot, even out in the middle of nowhere. We have mills that are closed down, but they have to maintain the fire systems on them because they're in the middle of redwood forest, and forest fires are bad. So I've got myself a Silcock key. I keep these in 3 or 4 different places anyway. They're cheap, they don't take up a lot of room, and this is how you get water out of industrial
Speed up.
buildings.
hand, palm.
I don't taste good. I ain't worried about it. These are cheap, they don't take up much room, and these are how you get water out of industrial buildings, commercial buildings. So I'm putting that in the kit, and the last thing I'm putting in there. Now, I live in the middle of there's forests on every side of the town I live in. My county has more forest land than street, city type land in it, the whole county. And so I've got these all over the place. I've probably got 2 dozen of these in different places. This is a tick key. And you cannot start your tick without it.
If you look at a map of the city limits, right now we are pretty close to center of city limits, and we're in the middle of a forest.
Yeah. Now, you cannot hotwire a tick anymore. They've got too many safety features in them. You have to have a tick key. No, what these are is they've got a flat side on it and they've got a divot side on it. And pretend for that one of these freckles, pretend one of them is a tick. Zoom in on the freckle. Pick one and zoom in on it. See, people try. Are you zoomed in real tight? Okay. People try to say that gingers ain't got no soul. They got it wrong. We get a new freckle for every soul we got. I got a lot of freckles.
He looks tan.